In the internal control modules, we strongly advise you to use the customization feature to make sure that the forms look the way you want them to look. What I mean by that is when you create controls, either using the web interface or the CSV files, you will have to complete all these fields. And there might be some fields that you just want to rename and some fields you want to hide. The way you will do that is through customizations. So if you go to customizations, typically I don't use the URL, so you see now it's hidden. I don't use tags. The collaborator, which we'll explain later on what kind of role is that, I like actually calling it differently. I call it the operator. And let me see if I change something else in here. I don't use support contracts, and the rest more or less is fine. Now, what you can do also is to add fields. Now, I don't typically add fields in the control tab, but I definitely add fields in the audits. Because, you know, when you create audits, you need to tell when the audit starts and when it finishes and the actual duration of the audit. And for that reason, you want to track down those changes. Now, the way I do that is I go to customization, and I add a new field on the audit tab, which is called Audit Duration. Some people also document the maturity of the evidence provided and different things. I just go with this one because what I want to know is how long my audits actually take. At the end of the year, I download this information on a CSV file, and I do a study on which controls are taking the most time to test. And then those controls, I can try to automate them or review the way I'm testing them, so perhaps there's more efficient ways of doing that work. So my options are under 1 hour, under 3 hours, under 5 hours, about 5 hours. I don't know, you can put whatever option you want, how long the testing took. And yeah, you can choose whether to make it mandatory or not. I typically choose to make it mandatory. Now, when I'm doing that is, you see, I'm on the control audits. So I'm in the audit tab, I use customizations, I'm gonna change my fields now. So I see this custom field I create, so audit duration, I'm gonna show that in my result. I'm gonna save so that change is permanent. So every time I come here, I will see that field, which is one I really like looking at. And you see now I can start tracking down the duration of my testing. You can see that because, for example, if I edit this audit, now I have an option here that says audit duration. You can move the fields up and down if you want also. So this is, I would say, my typical adjustments. And I recommend you do this before you start using the module.